Have you watched the Smosh movie? I have, and it's another really bad YouTuber movie. It's like really, really awful. But that's kind of expected for these type of films. They're not really made for anyone. When you try to make that choice between making a film for the fans and also making it for mainstream audiences, I believe you alienate both and get nothing in return. So what is this hot garbage? Well, the movie revolves around the duo of Smosh. They're YouTube personalities with over 24 million subscribers. And their whole shtick is that they make skits about bullshit. But the movie, Smosh, the movie, is not a Smosh skit. It's literally just them in this fakey form of reality that has people not act like people. It's one of those movies where the plot is like thin as a tissue paper and everything and everyone is stupid. No one is real in this film, except for the epic mealtime guy, kinda, because he gets to beat up Ian. He has like a believable reaction to getting water balloons thrown at him. And Ian, I just gotta say this right now, he's like the worst character in this movie. He just sucks as a person, but I'll go into him later. In deep as a microphone. So yeah, this movie was made in 2015. It was written by Steve Marmol and another Nickelodeon writer guy who doesn't have a Wikipedia article. Shame. So be prepared for a kid-friendly movie experience. It was also directed by Alex Winter, whose face, if you go on Wikipedia, it just shows nothing but shame. He is so shameful about being part of this project. I don't know. There's something about these YouTuber movies and not wanting to do the thing that made them famous in the first place. It's weird. You would think they would do the thing, but they don't. And instead, they try to make these YouTubers into this family-friendly thing that doesn't resemble their brand, like, at all. For the AVGN, what made him famous was the rampant cursing interwoven with a overly obsessed, analytical, gaming nerd. Like, he was just nostalgia bait, and that's why people liked him. However, when you look at his movie, he's just like a mildly annoyed dude who dresses as a nerd, so he's like a husk of what he's supposed to be. The Smosh movie, like, it suffers the same problem. You see, their channel revolves around short, fast, high-energy skits about nonsense. The quickness of their videos and the topics they talk about are only good for short bursts. Now their film, well, it's a film. They clearly weren't prepared to make one. Where their videos shined in their randomness and short length, they now had to make a structured film that is meant to have the length of a film. Now, did they succeed? No, they didn't. They clock in at like an hour and 15 minutes. And the movie is just horrendous. Instead of having high energy skits, it's like a weird mix. And like, this is the hardest part to describe this movie. It's like a mix between a failing friendship and minor nods and jabs at YouTube and social media at large. The main plot of the movie is Anthony, this guy right here, wants to get a video on YouTube pulled because, and this is going to get my video pulled because it's not age appropriate. He wants to get a video pulled because he got a microphone shoved up his ass that Ian posted. Fuck this guy, dude. Okay, so they go inside the internet. They take an interdimensional transporter because why not? To alter the video by mercilessly beating up Anthony. Okay, so it's like time travel at this point. And the girl of his dreams, she like gets wet and they all become rich and famous. It's a movie about shallow, rich, autistic man-children. It's awful. Maybe there isn't meant to be a good YouTuber movie. Maybe the idea of focusing on someone who is internet famous just doesn't make for a good film. Before we dive into this movie and break it down, because no one watched this garbage besides me, think of a YouTuber. Any YouTuber. What kind of movie could they make? I can't think of a single YouTuber who would make an enjoyable 2-hour film. And I'm not doing that as dramatic irony. I have no idea who could make a good film and make it competently. Anyway, let's get started. So the movie intros with really bad CG depiction of Anthony and Ian from Smosh, and they got like pop music playing in the background. And it's important to note going forward that this movie isn't about Smosh the channel. It really isn't. You got like Jenna Marbles and Markiplier who came onto YouTube way after Smosh did, but in this universe, this fakey Nickelodeon universe, they're just two normal dudes. Or normal, one's really autistic. Anyway, this crap is meant to illustrate what they do on a daily basis. Anthony works as a pizza boy, even though he's 23 years old. And Ian spends his day, I don't know, it's really weird. I don't think people like this exist. He just binge watches random unconnected videos on YouTube. Emphasis on unconnected. Usually in modern day and age, people just have their niche now. Eventually, it cuts to real life, which, again, I don't understand why you had this CG aspect in the first place. It just seemed like you threw it in there just because. And we got like drone shots and many random cuts. The only good cut here is the shot to Ian's face because it shows his obsession with the internet. It's like the only professional angle so far. And it really does emphasize how much of a loser he is. And right here, I noticed again, they also use fake YouTube. At least they actually use the name YouTube. Just change up the logo. That's how you dodge copyright, right? So going over this movie play by play is like really hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. And if I don't hit 1 million subs for doing this, I might just hang myself. So the premise of the movie is established here, and it's the form of a long form info dump. I can't show the audio or like give you guys the audio to listen to because YouTube is gonna flag me for anything. But here's the thing, this is script writing 101. If your character has to exposit information, it's no good because it's unnatural. But be prepared for more unnatural responses because the people in this universe are your typical Nickelodeon people. They have no soul and they are just here for the paycheck. So Anthony's a pizza boy and he's not even like a good one. He works 8 hours a week to pay for his jeggings because this is legit. In the movie, he's questioning his sexuality. He's questioning if he likes men or does he like underage girls. He can't tell. I mean, look at him. I think he might be in the transitioning phase in this movie, like David Charette. If he can't fuck the girls, he will become the girl. And Ian's a loser with Justin Bieber hair. He watches a girl get butt massaged on repeat while constantly posting perverted comments. God, that was like sucker and succotash. Why did I write that? Anyway, his comments get, no, everything I do is totally unscripted. So all of his comments get flagged immediately. But don't worry, our boy is a seasoned rapist and emotional manipulator, and he gets the girl in the end, which is like nonsense. It's totally insane. I know it's skipping ahead, but I hate Ian. I don't know him in real life, and it has nothing to do with the fact I don't like their channel, because I really don't like their channel. But in this movie, Ian is a horrible person. He's a horrible friend. He's a horrible actor. He's a horrible everything. There's nothing really redeemable about him in this movie. It's really awful because he's just a dick. He throws milk balloons at innocent mailmen, burns people with coffee, and he videotapes his best friend who has a microphone that's shoved up his ass. And he posts it on YouTube. And when like Anthony confronts him later in the movie, he's like, I don't care. And he refuses to pull it down. And this guy, this unlikable Bieber-like, he gets the girl in the end. And he also gets to become super rich and famous. Just like, what a piece of shit. So the central plot is that they have this high school reunion. And it's got free tacos. And Anthony's like, now I can get Anna Reed again and ask her out on a date. She was like this super popular girl at school that he was too much of a bitch to approach. So he thinks that this 5-year reunion is his shot. He doesn't even like consider that she could be married. You know, she probably went to college and met some guys that aren't cucks and aren't pizza boys obsessed with Pokemon. But yeah, it turns out this video of Anthony, you know, him slipping and getting a microphone shoved up his ass, he wants to have it pulled because he doesn't want Anna Reed to see it. So when he talks to a YouTube lady, which is actually kind of amazing that you got in contact with a real person at YouTube, yeah, he doesn't get it pulled. You know how I said that the AVGN could have made a movie about him going into the worlds of all the games he's made fun of? Well, that's this movie. They go into a YouTube video after YouTube video because apparently you can just do that. It's basically time travel in this film, but it's jumping around YouTube videos. And that's how Ian gets his girlfriend, by the way. He breaks into her house and he gets to fuck. Eventually, it's revealed that Ian made the video. I've already spoiled that earlier. And him and Anthony argue and they both realize that they're both at fault. Aww. Ian's at fault for filming the video, and Anthony's at fault for having a microphone shoved up his ass. They kiss or something, and then they combine together to become Smosh. Now they are rich and famous and get 30 girlfriends, including Anna Reed, and the movie is over. Did I really go into this movie scene by scene? It was really quick. It was an hour. Come on. But no, I didn't. Because I feel like it's impossible, because I'm going to say, oh, this happened, and then this happened. This movie is 1 hour and 15 minutes of nonsense, and you can pretty much get the idea of it, of all the images I put on screen. You get the idea of what this movie is. You know who this caters to. It caters to stupid people. Spoilers, I guess, if you really care. There's only 3 good things about the movie, and that's epic mealtime. He gets to beat up Ian, which is fun. There's Jenna Marbles, who calls Siri a bitch, and Markiplier chasing them down as a gorilla with a chainsaw. That was really it. Everything else was just terrible. I don't really expect much from these kinds of movies because I know I'm not their target audience. I'm a dude who likes actually good movies. But here's the thing, I'm not expecting great character development or great lessons, but at the very least, you need to keep me entertained. And how you do that is up to you. If you made this movie about Ian being punched in the face by epic mealtime for a straight hour, it wouldn't be a good movie, but I'd be entertained. Isn't this why we watch movies in the first place? To be generally entertained? This movie is 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I keep repeating that, but it's an hour and 15 minutes of 2 manlets just doing stupid crap. And here's the worst part. This is their movie. It sounds weird to say it that way, but this is their movie. Isn't it meant to entice us to watch their channel? I don't think it did that. I have no interest in Smosh. I actually have less interest in them. But I think it's YouTube search engine optimization, SEO. You watch this movie now, and about 56.4% of movie watchers are going to search them on YouTube, and 22.3% of them will click on their video, which brings up their total search traffic up to 104% from last year's traffic. It's all just about numbers, pandering, and math, because there's no harm, no foul in making a bad movie. It's not going to kill their brand. So it was just really a cash grab. It was a waste of time and probably money on someone else's end, because I don't think they paid for this. They didn't even write it. They didn't even direct it. They were just soulless robots that were told, hey guys, read these lines, and they're like, okay, cool. So with that being said, just bad. Anyway, I got a little footnote here. It's called Random Garbage Bin of Things to Complain About. So I couldn't make a structured script for this part, and I didn't want to make a second video called Extended Thoughts. So here's some notes that I made just while watching this crappy movie. First note is, child actors are horrible, but in this movie, this little Guido kid is a much better actor than our 2 stars. He kind of is. I can't show any of it because YouTube is evil and will flag anything I put up now. But yeah, this little Guido is pretty entertaining. He's like, I got a $5 watch. That's 5 carats. What do you got? And they pull up a dollar bill and they suck. Anthony is a pedophile in this movie. Oh, I did talk about this earlier. When Ian starts dancing to Pokemon in public, Anthony is embarrassed because a bunch of underage girls are looking at him. So he clearly wants that pussy. Shame on you, Anthony. Shame on you. Ian's parents just don't beat him. Okay, so there's this one scene in the movie, right, where his dad just walks up to him and just straight up calls him gay, and Ian just takes it on the chin. He's like, if that's a dude, There's nothing wrong with that. It's like one of those, I still love you, but don't be gay type of things that every dad does. Oh my God, it's really bad. It's brutal if you actually think about it. Moving on from there, the movie is still harping on this butt massage girl thing. Like, I don't know. It's really weird. They couldn't have made it a little bit more sensible. Like, he couldn't obsess over like a vlogger like Jenna Marbles or something. You know, they could have had it been like a female vlogger that Ian obsesses over. She has like an array of videos that are all like motivational and real and nice. And it makes you feel like you really establish a connection with this person. But in reality, they're just an internet person and you have no idea who they are personally. Like, that's something that could have been a really good dialogue, but instead they went for a really cheap joke about massaging butts, and it really just makes Ian look like a fucking degenerate. It's fucking terrible. The epic mealtime guy is the best thing in this movie. Anyone that causes bodily harm to Ian in this film is a fucking hero. And he smashes a mailbox, and it's funny. And does it save the movie? No, but it's funny. There's this scene where Siri calls Anthony hot, and it's kind of reminded me of the Angry Video Game Nerd amusement park. Like, I seriously want to know what the fuck is wrong with these YouTubers and their YouTuber movies, because they're all just ego boosts. I don't know, are they really all that insecure in themselves that they need to compliment themselves in their own movie? It's like your own movie. You have your own movie. You have your own fucking movie dedicated to yourself. I don't know. It's weird. They can't just be a character in their movie or be themselves. They have to be this fake version, but at the same time, someone needs to give them kudos just to feel good. It's really depressing. I don't know. Do YouTubers really think that highly of themselves? Maybe they do. They probably do, actually, because these fucks make over like $300,000 to like $5 million. I'd feel pretty fucking good about myself if I made $5 million a year making really bad videos. Whew. That was depressing right there. So yeah, guys, that's my review of the Smosh movie. It was bad. If you're wondering why I'm using stills, that's because YouTube Content ID is a thing, and I'm not dealing with that. And I am kind of feeling a bit melancholic, a little bit nihilistic. But you know, silver lining, it gets videos out faster, I guess. I don't know. I got flagged for a 12-second clip, and it wasn't 10 seconds. And I think it's just kind of silly. I think it's just kind of dumb. Fair use doesn't really exist on YouTube. And if I went to get a lawyer, it wouldn't be like financially worth it. I make pennies off of this stuff, and so I don't really care. If I ever get content ID'd for a still image, then I'm just gonna stop making YouTube videos because that shit is too immature and just not worth it. Anyway, if you liked my video, please feel free to like and subscribe and drop comments, and yeah, I read them, and have a nice day.